Welcome to Stirred Up. I'm Heather.
I'm Jessica.
Welcome to our podcast where business meets happy hour and we're serving up brand insights with bar rail banter.
We're two Midwest corporate pros who love dissecting popular brands, not just for their marketing genius or business moves,
but for their corporate integrity. Together, Jess and I dig into sustainability, leadership, and how brands are actually impacting the world we live in.
All while keeping it fun, relatable, and let's be honest, fueled by some Fireball too.
Woohoo! So whether we're clinking glasses to the brands who are doing it right,
or closing the book on the one that missed the mark,
we'll bring you the real, unfiltered takes on what the brands are doing that are shaping our world and the lives we live daily.
So grab a drink, settle in, and let's get this shit stirred up. Shall we get in? You want to welcome us?
No.
Oh, you want me to welcome?
Yeah.
Welcome.
On the edge of justice. And the major cunt herself.
Shut up. Are you having remorse?
No, I'm
She's
learning
angry.
a lesson. Oh, I'm learning a lesson.
Okay.
One, it's better to drink at 5, 6 o'clock after work and record than on an absolute empty stomach and start pounding whatever we pounded.
When did we do that? It was a Saturday?
It was a morning, wasn't it? And we drank the mimosas, or was that the mangoes?
No,
Was that
that
this
was
week?
That was 2 episodes ago. That was Taco Bell. Oh no, yeah.
Here's
That must
how
have
we
been.
got. Here was my.
It must have been. No, but the last when we just did Lululemon, the one we've discussed, that was an afternoon.
That's another one.
Oh.
If you listen to the whole episode, you can listen to Miss Flipper script over here. No, you did a fantastic job. Like 10 out of 10. Actually bought some Lulu. On God.
I was thinking about eating at Taco Bell recently.
See, that's loyalty.
See, you didn't want to clink, and then you bought Lulu, and I didn't want to clink Taco Bell,
You
and I
go
saw
get
a
yourself
commercial.
a cheesy fucking gordita crunch, and you come back here and tell me that your life isn't.
I don't know what we
Better.
were watching, but it was a commercial on TV, and it might have been late. Like, it might have been last night or 2 nights ago when we got a show that we're into,
What are you
Waterfront
watching?
Waterfront on Netflix. It's
I
so
have a
fucked
good
up.
story for you. You're gonna like it.
Okay.
Okay, I have a friend. Go ahead.
Anyways, I think I was hungry and it was late, and Taco Bell like late night food, and they've got some sort of thing in your mind, like it just sets off a thing that you want. And I saw like all of the ingredients that I like, and it was a chicken thing, and I was like, shit, I should rethink this.
Qdoba, Chipotle, Taco Bell. Love your show.
Yeah.
I love, even when we went to the garage sales in Freeland, they had homemade like carnitas at somebody's garage sale they were making on the grill. I like even Los Cuatro. I like all.
Me too. I love all that. So we went downtown yesterday, and I picked up McDonald's for my kids, and I still had one of their Happy Meal boxes, and I don't like to leave that, especially on like a hot, that's so gross when you get back in your car. So I was carrying it to a trash, and a lady saw me, and there's kind of a lot going on. Like my kids weren't, I didn't have like physical access to my kids, and there was a car coming. So it was a little bit like I was really kind of on edge, making sure that nobody got running out in traffic. And a lady said something to the degree of like, because we know you're not eating Taco Bell. And I was like, oh yeah, she listened to that episode. But little does you know, I'm thinking about trying it. So,
Go out on a whim.
we grow. That's what we do here. We grow. So
That's
are we
right.
growing? Are we growing from last week? Heather was like criticizing. She's yelling at me.
I didn't even know there was. Okay, here's the deal. Here's the deal.
Can I have my drink?
I'm not going to go back on what I said about
Smelly people.
the people that I saw in my peripheral. I'm sure there was probably a lot of my friends down there. I didn't see you.
No, I wasn't. I was at home with children.
And
but
like, I also stink too. So, but okay. Okay. It's funny. So that was supposed to be the funny part. And the funnier part is that I send people down there who also have the same values, human rights, generally opinions as me. And they're like, dude, it was fucking weird down there.
Yeah.
I didn't know. Ignorant. So where I will claim ignorance is that I did not know that there was the King's Rally.
And Heather was like, you're supposed to tell me these things. It's not a King's Rally. It's a no King's protest.
So had I known
My bad.
I might have even showed up. It just happened to be that I thought there was so someone had said something about the Magda on TikTok. I was still focused on what was happening in California, trying to figure that out. Like,
Understand.
I have updates around how people actually pay taxes. We made a lot of hypotheses around how people, okay. And the next thing I know, everyone's like, she doesn't care about immigration. I'm like, actually, Jessica said, not that she didn't care, but that, like, wasn't part of your vote.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, I'm sorry that I wasn't tuned into what was happening that week. I was fucking raising my family.
Yeah. It's such a fair thing. Like, a lot going on. I'll be
the first stinky long armpit lady down there, but I will let you cross the street. And I don't
you won't be mad.
A Tesla.
Yeah, no. Totally with you. I think that it's totally fine. I told you probably represented hundreds of millions of Americans in that.
You know, like, and when I said the crudes, like, I stand by that.
It's okay. It's good.
I truly do, and it's fucking funny. If we can't make fun of ourselves.
Yeah.
I also thought our new lighting was fabulous, but it made me realize that my arms are getting extra skinned by my armpits. So that's upsetting me too. So if I sit like this from now on.
I know you wore, like, your shoulders look very good.
Really?
You did it. You were yeah. Well, maybe work on your triceps then, because your shoulders are on fire.
Because I'm carrying the weight.
You were dancing earlier, and I was like, whatever she's doing, I got to be doing more of that. It was very good.
Nothing. I've gained almost 20 pounds.
Oh my God, I'm all of that too. I feel like a little bit of a disaster.
You know what's the most scary part
weeks.
for me, and I don't, other people probably, I know some people just, eating is not a stress. I don't eat if I'm stressed. So if you generally see me looking 20 pounds heavier, I'm generally living my best. There just gets to a point where I'm like,
Yeah, and I must do the opposite. I might not even be stressed. I might be annoyed. I might be bored.
I'm bored.
Yeah, bored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what was I going to say about that?
I'm so sorry for the rooster, guys.
I told them that when we were I guess they've already heard it. Well, they haven't heard it yet, but I was like, that fucker's going to get put in the pot. Also, you didn't die of the heat almost stroke we had in Michigan. I loved it. And my husband, who keeps telling me, I don't want to live here. I don't like Michigan. I don't like the whatever. Literally couldn't even sit on the front porch.
Yeah, it was too hot.
Because it was too hot for him. I was like, if you ever think I'm going to Boca with you, as if I was ever going to, I'm definitely not going now if you can't sit your little baby ass on the front porch.
So you were living your best.
I loved it. It's good for everything. Joints, hair, skin, mood.
Yeah.
Go out there and sweat it the fuck out.
Uh-huh.
Get comfortable. What do the kids say these days, or the coaches these days? Get
comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So when we went to Brazil, and
I've been preparing for this since my hysterectomy, though.
When we went to Brazil, it was the first time that I was like so obnoxiously hot and humid, and there was never a moment where I wasn't hot. And I almost remember the exact moment. Like, I was laying in the hammock, and I had a little conversation with myself, and I said something to myself along the lines of, just be outside of your, like, don't even focus on, like, it was sort of a mindfulness thing. Like, wrap your head around how it feels to be hot, and then just get rid of that feeling. Like, don't even think about it anymore. And I, honest to God, think that now I just practice that all the time. Like, when I'm hot, like, just stop thinking about it and just live on and just sit in the sweat and be okay.
Mm-hmm. My parents used to say that to me, and it really used to fucking piss me off.
But they're right.
I don't know. I had sensory issues. But they are right. But it's how do you rewire the pathways of your brain to say, okay, I'm sweaty and it's gross, and instead of firing your brain to feel like it's gross, it's like, okay, I'm sweaty, and I'm sweaty. I tell myself I'm sweating out toxins.
Oh,
I like literally tell myself, like, this is good for you. This makes up for the wine.
Yeah.
Like, get out there and weed your fucking garden, girl. And I just like pump myself up that way.
I like that.
Put them feet in that earth.
So this kind of hot, I think it's like 82. It feels incredible to me. I love this. A slight breeze, nothing crazy. Sometimes sun, but it's not like crazy overcast either. Like, I'm into this.
What's going on with the No Kings? Because I read a lot on NPR.
Oh, okay.
Now I'm trying to fucking get with it, apparently.
Do you want to do Fireball with me while we do that?
Oh, hey, as long as you don't let me start slurring here in 4 minutes.
Well, what do you want to do?
Fireball.
Okay.
Of course I do.
Cheers. I'm going to sip on mine.
Are you?
That's what I always do.
I know. Cheers. I'll sip too.
Cheers. Okay.
I've also noticed when I drink.
Okay, you wanted to talk about No Kings. I don't know about, there's nothing
They're going to
much
plan,
to say.
so they planned a couple things. And there weren't like 11 million, there were like 5 to 6 million. But
Okay,
they
so
also said,
fact check us.
But they also said it's really, really, really hard to actually like
100%.
quantify.
Because there were so many
If the
Michigan
Pam-
cities
Yeah.
that had like,
My sister-in-law said she was pumped for Detroit. Like Detroit showed up.
Detroit showed up, Holland, Marquette. Like I saw so many Michigan cities. I think it was 2 Saturdays ago now, but I was
love
really watching it
Marquette.
on TikTok in real time. And it was the first moment of hope since November 9th or whatever day that was.
November 19th. They said they were planning
That was November 19th?
April 19th.
No, election day was what I was saying.
Yeah. They said they were going to plan something on Juneteenth.
Yeah.
They didn't, I don't think, though.
No.
So there's nothing going
There's
on.
only so much you can do. You kind of gotta rally the troops. And you can't just keep showing up on the streets.
Here's my idea. Like, I can't actually keep up with what I should be concerned about because I feel like I need to be concerned about a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, I'm going for the ignorance is bliss.
I go through waves.
I can't help it. Right now, I'm ignorance is bliss. The sun is shining. When I get into my emo October mode, I'll probably.
I got you. I go through waves, and you caught me that particular weekend.
Were you going to
Actually, for like a whole
that would
week.
piss me off if a man asked me that.
Did someone ask you that?
No, Mike asked me that if I cry. I don't have a period anymore, but when I did, he used to. And
That's not funny, but it's funny.
I almost murdered.
But
I
like
almost murdered him.
women, but women can say that to women because we know. No, I don't know.
Thank you for that.
I have not correlated it around the moon or my cycle yet, but I will take a look next time. But I go in, I think it's just a little bit more habitual or like just these sort of waves. And for like a week or two, I'm really pissed off and fired up about the things that are going on in the world. So I know everything. Like I'm actually annoyed the next day when the 24-hour news cycle is like the daily or like, what's the other one, that Pod Save the World. And I'm like, oh yeah, they just recorded this yesterday, and I already this is not useful to me because I was so engaged in what's going on in real time. Mm-hmm. And then I'll have times where I'm like completely disengaged, reading some sort of something that makes me happy, or like something intelligent, but it's not timely whatsoever, and I just need to like extricate myself from the world altogether. And I go through these like 2-week cycles, I think, between those two. And I'm about to enter. I downloaded a new book, so I'm about to enter Tapping Out. Like I'll check.
That's what I've been. So I've been actually. So I switched. So exactly, that's where I've been for probably the last over almost 2 months. I switched from digital media to print, and I'm reading literally a Brooke Shields, 4 books at one time. Mm-hmm. I'm reading like a daily devotional where it's either like a Bible verse or a quote,
Nice.
a real life story, and then whatever. So it's one a day. So I try to read it every day, and then I fucking forget.
How's
and
that?
then I have to read 5 at a time, and then I search for purpose. I'm like, these kids are fucking stressing me out. What does page 496 say? Like I'm just looking for like June
Answers.
25th to be the answer from June 23rd, desperately.
Oh, dear God.
Dear God, help us all in this house. And then I'm reading Brooke Shields' autobiography about her mother's life.
She did an interview with Monica Lewinsky, and
I stole that.
Who I think is a really great interviewer, by the way. I like listening to her podcast, but it was like a really slow start.
Talk about give people some grace. They still make fun of this child, woman, child at 22 years old, while the most powerful woman in the whole world gave her some attention.
Yeah.
Tell me you wouldn't be sucking him off too.
Right.
I wouldn't. You know that now. I'd rather DTF. If you tuned into Brandy Melville.
Right.
I wouldn't have got caught in that vote. That's for sure. And I am reading, it's called We Can Do Hard Things.
Oh, you know what? I think that's on my list.
Don't buy it. I have it. I bought
Okay.
it. I am quite through it. That's been my consistent. And it goes through like 20 pieces of life that the synopsis of where I'm at right now is like before, like inside of your mother's womb, you take on her trauma. You inherently take on your culture, like so many things. It's like this nurture versus nature, but at the end of the day, it's like who you are is made up of who you are. And like, so if your kid has
Isn't that
anxiety and
crazy?
the mother had anxiety in the womb, like there you go. If like, your ancestors fought to survive, like, and then it also talks about how those survival skills like are also a part of you, and you know it makes you strong. Like it's all the things. So I've actually went through and highlighted.
Crazy.
It's crazy.
Crazy.
It's very well written, and there's different. Again, what I really appreciate is you've got like doctors, you've got writers, but then you've got doctors and people who've obviously done extreme work and are still doing extreme work on oneself. But then you've got different influential people in life sort of talk through those different pieces of the 20 sections. So like they'll tell a story about trauma in mother's womb, and then Kerry Washington will give a story.
Oh, yeah,
or some
okay.
doctor I've never heard of, or some Nobel Peace Prize
well
writer
balanced.
that I have to like look up.
I like that. I like that a lot.
So I've highlighted a lot of it, and like, so I've been spending a lot of time there. So I've
I wonder
disconnected.
what the audiobook is like. I'm going to check out the audiobook maybe. Anyway, I'm interested.
I was thinking about that. Like, how would that be? Because I'm a big fan of audiobooks as well. How would that be?
And I listen to them
I
for
think
free on Spotify.
audiobook would be very, very difficult with that unless they had all 180 contributors.
Yeah, reading themselves and probably not. It would be
Because
really-
you know who Kerry Washington is. You know who certain people are. There's got to be differentiation in voice. Like, I find audiobooks best when...
Yeah, when the personas are like read by the author or whatever.
Yeah, so I think that would be tough. But
okay. Good
I do have a
feedback.
hard copy. It's one of those things where you can pick up and put down, and I think it's written in an order, but I don't think necessarily you have to read it in order, and it's also really digestible to read. So do you remember like Shel Silverstein kind of poem model? So some pages are really big text with quotes. Some pages are smaller. Some pages, like people's quotes or sayings will go in like a rainbow or
Like a true work of art.
facts.
I'm so into that. I want to check it out when you're done. You done?
With that?
Working on it.
With the fireball?
With the book.
Oh, no, I'm not. But I will be by the end of the 4th. We could probably swap it out if you come up north.
All right. Incentive. An incentive here.
You also have to literally, when you come to my parents, bring literally nothing but like
My world best chocolate chip
your cookies and your kids' swimsuits. Like life jackets, water shoes, sunscreen, bug spray. If they don't have it, Grandma will go to the store. Like that's how we roll.
So
It's very easy.
Matt is the planner in our house.
He will have to do for nothing.
I know, but he can't do nothing. Like he literally cannot.
We
so
smoke.
would just
we
have
have
too
a. We
much.
have a. But
Oh my God! Speaking of smoke, did you see our new fire pit out there? Matt built that. It's a
people say we
smokeless.
smoke. I mean, like we smoke meat.
I knew exactly. And
You know your redneck when.
and here in that particular unit, it's smokeless. He designed a smokeless fire
Can
pit.
he make me one? I'll pay him. I need that in the city so the fire department doesn't come.
You're gonna have to ask him.
I want to know if I
He
can
doesn't.
have that built, my porch built around that, and that can go. It can be sunk into my porch. When will he be here?
I don't know. He very rarely does jobs for others anymore, so you'd have to negotiate that.
I'm sure Mike could build it. He would just have to see it. Mike's literally
He's a
at
welder?
home right now.
He has a welder.
Huh?
He welds.
My grandpa welded. We got
Oh,
equipment.
okay. There you go.
But does it have to be welded to go into the bottom? That's what I'm thinking. It's going to have to be.
Yeah, I mean, to resist fire, it has to be metal, and then metal has to be welded together to make that unit.
Papa was a welder. He was a welder at Dow for 40 years. When we take out our boat lift, it weighed about,
25,000 pounds.
yep, jet
Yeah.
ski lifts, boat lifts, fucking,
Yeah, he
even
carried-
our dock he
Carried
made.
that bitch with a tractor.
Yeah, even our dock he made, like where people had the real light aluminum. My papa's were made out of like pipe fitter poles, and like literally, I'm not kidding you. Do you remember the old? My mom, make them on the Broncos. They're the old, not hubcaps, but old rims. Mm-hmm. My papa welded
Nice.
the pole to the rim, and that rim sat at the bottom of Wixom.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And then he welded
That's
all
funny.
of this.
We did similar things for the feet. Yeah. That's so funny.
And he used to weld a lot of things for the neighbors.
Yeah.
Welded his own implements for tractors and all that shit.
Matt does that too.
It's like art.
Yeah.
Anyways, I need one of those in the city so the fucking fire department doesn't come.
His to-do list for me is excessive, and somehow this jumped to the top. But, you know.
So is Mike's. He's out there fucking building, like, literally, like, 1920s scroll trim on my house. Out there. He took 3 days vacation. We took 2 days vacation.
We are so lucky we have such capable husbands.
I could not imagine if that man didn't know how to work with his hands.
What
value are you adding?
What else are you good for? I was going to say. I mean, there's a lot of, I'm sure there's things. Can we even air that? Will they be so offended?
No, he won't. At this point, he loves me and he knows I love him. But, like, get them fucking windows done, bro.
Crying.
Don't fucking burn my grass. Don't burn my grass. Don't fuck with my, like, support my flower habit. Like,
Don't
let my babies die. Make my boys men. Like,
yeah, there's a load of stuff.
But generally,
I'm crying. It's so funny.
I cannot. When people hire, so I live in the city now.
Oh, at least
do you know what the biggest shock of me living in the city is? I'm not kidding you guys. Like, I'm not kidding. It's shocking to me.
How useless the men are in the city. We have to cut this.
I don't care. I mean, not useless. It's just, here's the deal. I had a friend tell me one time, Heather, I don't mow my own lawn anymore because, like, my hourly rate, like, I make more money working. But then you generally find people, no matter how much money they make, billionaires are being, right? You watch the Beckhams and he's got bees.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but that's a hobby because he enjoys it.
That's what Taylor said to me today. She was like, "You're not really, you shouldn't really have grown up on, like, a full farm. You're more of a hobby farmer." So
yeah.
Like, yes, I am. I want a llama.
Yeah,
and
same.
An alpaca, and I'm not gonna get rid of it. And,
yeah.
Yeah. Where was I?
The biggest surprise of living in the city.
They farm out
everything.
So what if they have a mouse in their house, they call critter control. If they have a chipmunk problem, they call critter control. If they need their yard fertilized, they have somebody do it. They have snow removal. Our
and the driveways are, like, as big as this fucking
I
studio.
have a half-acre lot, people. Literally. And again, like we've talked about, snow removal, because when you're trying to blow out of your driveway at 6:30 in the morning and go to work, like, you don't really want to shovel. Like, I get some of it. We have decided to farm out a couple things. We have a cleaning lady again. God bless you, Danielle, Father, Son, Holy Danielle. Thank you for coming to the Smith home. Shout out to the neighbor for bringing her into my life.
We've had a cleaning lady for some time. We just canceled, but
like,
I'm having a day. Like, if you go inside,
they have a little piece of paint, trim to paint. They call somebody.
Yeah, everything. Wow, that's really kind of crazy.
I mean, they drive by and they look out their windows at Mike, who's doing the siding, like that man has lost his mind and we are going to the poorhouse.
So I wonder if there's a way to map out. Like, if you look at a map and you're like, okay, these people service everything, where does it start to bleed out into?
Can I tell you something very serious?
Literally never call anybody for anything.
So I do critter removal for one lady in my neighborhood. My neighbor. We see the animal man, capture man. He's up and down my driveway or my road
all the time,
every day of the week. I'm not kidding you. I bet if we looked at the data, 4 out of 7. And I'm not kidding you. I think we could brand ourselves as, like, women trappers.
I really do want to trap
If we kill it,
I love it.
If we kill the mice and the chipmunks, then we charge you a certain amount. If you want us to trap a live one and remove it and put it at the nature center, we'll do that too. But that price is going to go significantly up.
Absolutely. Here's a redneck then for you, because some of these things I don't even realize are redneck until you tell me these things.
Women who trap, bitch.
That is fucking redneck. But, like, let me add to it. When we first moved here and before we got a cat, it was like right when the cat was, like, not capable of eating her own mice yet, we put rat traps out for the chipmunks underneath the deck because we had so many chipmunks, and we would just be sitting there, like, enjoying the deck during COVID and listening to them snap, and we go, oh, got one, snap, oh, got one. Like,
here's how I feel about trapping. If they don't suffer and I'm not actually doing it, and they're not, if they outsmart it, like the weasel, my uncle still, so update, okay. Weasel's still not caught.
Okay.
Thought the episode was good, my uncle said. Yes, he did. Good. And he thought we did a really good job. And But he still hasn't caught the bastard.
Okay.
And they got a new camper. So shout out to the new camper. So next time we go out, cheers. It's so nice. I'm so excited to go stay in it. Woohoo. Uncle Bill keep them rodents out of there.
Okay, can I give you an idea for my redneck ladies who trap? Here's a story. When that same summer, so finally the cat must have, grown enough to start getting her own chipmunks, I guess. It was COVID. I was pregnant. We were getting groceries delivered because, I regularly still do that, but it was COVID and I was pregnant. I was not going fucking grocery shopping. So groceries were getting delivered. We were on the back porch, as we do, as I said. And I could see the cat, playing cat and mouse with the chipmunks. Like, I could see that she had something. Didn't think much of it. Just like, oh, good for her. Groceries get delivered. And I don't know if I've told you this before. So, I'm standing over the threshold of the door, groceries on the porch, bring them in. Groceries on the porch, bring them in. The door's wide open. And all the meanwhile, and it was a large grocery haul. All the meanwhile, the cat is going through in between the bags. And I've totally forgotten about her, what I wasn't even registering what had been happening 40 minutes ago. And all of a sudden, Matt comes in. He goes, a chipmunk just came into the house through that door. And I was like,
to me before.
Oh, that explains it. And it just so happened to have gone right into our little half bath right next to the front door. And his idea, he was going to get a fish net, he was going to net it. And I was like, those net, the
whole my dad got bit in the foot by a bat. He netted the bat and then he stepped on the net to keep the bat in it and bit him in the toe. And he had to get a series of rabies. Yeah. And we call him Batman. Fucker got bit in the toe by a bat. My mom called me home like, Daddy got bit. I'm like, fucking what? A vampire?
Well, the cat was still right there. And her good, hard-worked chipmunk was just in the bathroom. It's a small little bathroom.
Did you just throw the cat in there with it?
I did.
Did it get it?
So threw the cat in there. Matt rolled the rug so there wouldn't be a crack at the bottom, just keep it all contained. I took a bath. He watched the golf. 2 hours later, we opened the door, and that cat just comes walking out her tail just she's a happy camper. And the only thing that was left was a tiny little gut sack. No blood, no nothing.
Just that bitch ate that whole thing.
Yeah, just took a little toilet paper and put that in the or put it in the toilet and flushed because they know not to eat the nasty parts, the guts, stinky poopy part. You know what I mean?
Animals
they know.
So smart.
Yeah, so smart.
So smart. My cats sleep all day long and 4 o'clock, just like the zoo. They get up and they're like...
I felt brilliant. I also felt... You know how I am about, my ideas? It, is a very big ego boost to me.
Back in the day, she was so passionate about her ideas.
Me?
You literally changed the business. You were so good.
Aw, you're so sweet.
You changed it. Okay.
Here also, I am brushing my shoulders
I don't know if I... Go ahead and brush some shoulders off. Carrying the weight of the world over here. Someone should be brushing their shoulders off.
That's how you get shoulders like that.
You just gotta fucking...
Seriously, Heather. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to make that the cover.
Stop.
With you and your shoulders. You need to wear more dresses like that with your shoulders being out.
Shoulders out? When I
You look so strong. Don't sit like that, though. So, yeah. Bitches. Okay, we can work on the biceps.
Sometimes they get stuck.
Triceps are such an easy thing to work on. There's tiny little muscles, so you don't need much. You can get a gallon of milk, might be even too much. A couple cans of soup. You don't need much. Just start and you'll be fine in no time.
In no time.
What do my triceps look like? See?
Fabulous.
They're kind of firm.
Strong. You've been running your dick off over there.
I'm down a little bit because, so I've ran 14 and a half miles this month, which is about 5 miles less at this point than last month because I was dancing in the club and fell down. So I had a little bit of a setback.
But I bet you burned extra calories on that day.
Sure.
So I have a question.
Okay.
Did when you were in high school, did you guys grind? Because we were grinding.
1,000%.
Grinding.
Constantly the supervisors of the dance would have to be just stop touching bodies.
People were getting pregnant out there.
Sweat and the
shirtless
vest. Yeah, the vest with the shirt.
We wore garters up to our kakuka chest.
And boys would put them on their arms.
Their fucking heads around their neck. If they were getting some, if they hadn't got some, they put it on their arm.
Oh, really?
I think that was the sign. And if you got it, that fucking bitch was going around your neck.
Oh, I thought if they were strong, they could fit it on their arm. You know what I mean?
Oh.
Okay.
I go, I said something about I'm getting chunky. And he was like, you look good. And I was like, okay. He told me that back in like 10 years ago when we lived in Sanford, when I was really living my best life. And I literally, my sister-in-law, I cannot take the credit for this, but I literally look like a potato. My sister-in-law said that's what she looks like, as a potato, so I can't take the credit. So she just actually said it a couple days ago, but now reflecting, like I stood there naked in the mirror like looking like a potato.
I actually deeply can relate to that right now.
Yeah. Not one of them cute little guys that you just boil, one of them. So I said something and I'm like, well, I go, you're getting, I don't know how. You
told him he was gaining weight?
No, maybe. I don't know. I don't really know what I said. And he goes, I go, well, not everybody can have muscles as big as yours. I go, not everybody can have muscles like yours that you think are big. He goes, real calm. He was doing something on his computer, and I was just I was going off in the middle of the day. Probably got a break from a phone call and wanted to be mean to somebody. Facts.
What did he say?
He goes,
thanks?
No, he goes, these? He goes, 29.5 inches. He goes.
He measures his biceps?
Hold on, wait. He goes. Arnold Schwarzenegger was Mr. Universe, and his were 35. You tell me. I go, fair enough, Mr. Universe.
Oh my God.
But he was joking, but it was so funny.
But it was a good joke because he looked
up
serious.
From his computer. I think he was fucking serious.
Serious, but kind of not.
No.
Joking, but kind of serious.
You threw some data at me that you don't just come out of your ass. I mean, it looks like he's
thought about it.
He's measured and researched.
He's thought about it. Minimally, he's thought about it.
So that leads me to Nike. Fuck Nike.
Oh my God.
I'm pissed at Nike.
Why? Tell me.
I bought $300 worth of shit anyways, but I'm pissed.
I understand that.
So first of all, what's really funny to me about Nike is we'll follow up, but my 4 bullets of observation have been their campaigns have generally focused on the athleticism of the individual versus the whole person.
Wait, and as opposed to the other...
She's a runner and she's an athlete. She's an amazing, but she's a mother and she might have a baby and she might do this and he might have mental health and he might have whatever.
You're very right about that.
They focused on the pure athlete, not the human. And I think that's going back to like the parody of children's sports. I think,
that's true.
I think it's sad. And I think, again, like can't go back, but long story short, I think that's really hurt Nike over the years. I think, and you'll actually hear some of like they've dropped women as sponsors because they've had
women as
athletes,
the athletes that they sponsor.
Even
because
they come back and they run faster than ever or whatever.
Yeah.
Or they can't pass it, whatever.
What'd you get?
What's pissing me off about Nike a little bit is what sports should still be, and they're not. They're not. And there are some great organizations, like shout out to Michigan Made, who, regardless of social and economic background, if your kid wants to play 7-on-7, they'll make sure they go with the rest of the kids to Indy. But I think their value proposition is different. I think those folks are built different. I think, no organization is perfect, but I think generally sports has not, and Nike not only bought into like who you are and what you are now, they've made their price points, what I'm fucking pissed about, that you could be athletic as fuck, but you only getting 1 pair of Nike Pros, and those might come from Christmas. Because the fact that this ridiculous golf skirt is $80 fucking tells me that not only is golf for privileged people, so is it if you even want to get dressed to go to the course.
And honestly, I would say that Nike should be at a cheaper price point. That's crazy.
So what you're telling me is that athletics are for the elite.
Why
and
are
not
you golfing?
Why
are you golfing?
I just do a lot of yard work, and my vagina's always hanging out. No, I'm kidding. I'm going to the LGPG.
I wondered. Okay.
Hey, I won the JAL championship.
Very good.
And I'm also doing I signed myself up for a couple charity events and like some other things where I need some
good
fits.
to have it. I did a golf outing and I wore Abercrombie and Fitch like athletic dress. I thought that was, and it was a
adorbs.
It was adorbs, except for it was cut very much like this, the shirt that I'm wearing. So when you put your clubs together, I kept saying, will someone let me know if the boobies are out? And like literally nobody let me know. Everyone watches women's sports. Woo woo.
So
Nike.
Well,
yeah.
This is Carrie Underwood.
I thought hers was a subscription only.
No, it's right in front. So Nike's behind her at Dick's. Nike
very
got
cute.
second positioning
At Dick's? I thought you said
and
Dunham's.
she has Dick's.
Okay.
And she has Dunham's doesn't even carry Nike anymore. They carry some whack shit going on over
Okay, so
there.
this is still $44 for a shirt. But half the price you're saying than the skirt.
That was on sale.
So if the skirt had been $40,
I only spent
$44.
$200. So the Nike Together Everyone hat was $35, not on discount.
Very cute, by the way.
This is for my son. Well, this is for Bennett. Bennett told me no one cares about or will watch women's sports, and that was almost 2 years ago.
And he is so wrong.
And he's wrong. And I haven't. I remember the first athlete I can remember was.
And he's going to an LPGA event.
He's going. So this is
he's-
to rub into my son. Shout out to the badass women out there. Steffi Graf was the first woman I remember watching. My mom watched tennis on fucking Saturdays and bored the shit out of me. But she was baller. This Nike bra was $55 with deodorant on it because someone else tried it on a dick. So it pisses me the fuck off. It's gross. Fucking gross. Like, might as well go get some bud bugs at the Goodwill because Tina tried on my bra and she's got some stank underneath her armpits. She was down at the Tridge.
My favorite bra is my Athleta. Love the way Athleta fits.
I love that. This was actually on sale. It was $85, $63, $75, and that was $33 on sale. So $197 for an outfit. That I'm not going to wear together. Oh, by the way, this is with this for sure. With some sort of.
But the hat is too cream.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I just wanted. I like the hat.
All right.
I'm going to the ocean. I want the hat. Yep. Jeep ride, and I need the hat. Side by side and up north.
Reeve can wear the hat.
I'm going to wear this in front of all the. Bennett was the one who said that nobody cares about women's sports.
We were talking about Reeve and baseball.
I'll tell you what. I watch women's sports versus men's sports, and I'll tell you what I've observed about basketball, which I
was going to ask you.
They fucking hustle, and they actually make real plays.
Okay, can I
They actually run.
Can I give a moment of vulnerability and weakness?
Yes.
Okay. I know specific listeners will kill me for this, and you got killed this week, so let it be my week. Okay? Did you just put Fireball?
Lick it up.
Lick it up. Are you going to drink it? That's what I was going to ask. Like, if someone leaves their pickle on their plate on their sandwich, like in half the environments that I don't go to a lot of professional dinner environments anymore. So 90% of the environments that I go to, if someone leaves their pickle on their
That's
plate,
really funny you said that because
I ask people. I know the environments where I cannot do that.
Also, these women are not making money.
I know.
From the WNBA, they're making money from sponsorships. So shout out to the fucking WNBA. Pay your athletes.
So subconsciously, I suppose I always knew there was a WNBA. Okay.
And an LGP.
For sure. I'm actually maybe more exposed to
women's tennis.
LPG.
I love more than men's tennis. Always have.
Yeah, but I don't watch any tennis whatsoever. So I know nothing about tennis. For some reason, I've been like a little bit more exposed to women's golf in the past, but like whatever. I know somebody who works for LPGA. He's badass. I'm going to send him so now he can be a listener. But
JD Sturban.
Yeah, I really like him.
He did some cool shit.
He's top notch, 10 out of 10. And he's like a VP of communications. Like he's killing it over there. Anyways, so I love to like see the data that he puts out into the world about what's going on in women's golf. But anyways, about like how the viewership is up and how they deserve their flowers. But my point is that like I had a recent, thank you, Caitlin Clark, realization in like more, there's an unconscious part of the world and then there's like, where I'm actually like critically thinking about things. I had never critically thought about women's basketball, professional basketball. I sort of subconsciously knew that this is like a thing that existed. And then all of a sudden I was like, well, Michigan doesn't have a WNBA team, right? Like, where do they play? I suddenly started to like try to register.
Yeah.
This it's sort of like knowing that like the Apple cloud exists, but where is it? I was like, there's this sport. It's like I can sometimes, occasionally, but very rarely see that the sport is actually happening. I don't have any idea where it's happening and who's doing it and what's going on. So I literally recently just had this like, holy shit, this whole organization exists. I don't know where they're playing. I don't know how many teams, like who even has teams. I don't really know anything else about it. I don't even know how to watch it. And I think like that was just a month or two ago, like when I told somebody about this in person, they were like, of course you know this. Like, how do you not know this? And I was like, I don't know. I think I never really just thought about it. And I think that's kind of the problem.
Well, I think a couple things.
It's not accessible.
Well, yeah, I was watching today. So a couple things. So I've always watched women's sports. We've always watched. I only had 7 channels growing up. So generally, whatever was on TV, we watched. So when the U.S. Open was on, we watched the men and women's U.S. Open. When the Olympics were on, we watched the Olympics. So as a little girl, the sports that I saw women do were skiing, downhill skiing, gymnastics on TV. Did some of that. Women's tennis, Steffi, Selena, but the 90s gymnasts for sure. Like Dominique Moceanu and Dominique Dawes and Shannon Miller.
Figure skating was like
figure skating and
Yamaguchi.
Even swimming, Chrissy Yamaguchi.
Yeah.
And Nancy Kerrigan. She got whacked by Tanya Harding. So women's sports
certainly existed.
100%.
100%.
And then I got into women's soccer with the USA team, But for me, same with you, the WNBA, the only reason I've paid any attention to WNBA is because of the family that I married into and the sister-in-law I have.
Yeah.
So Mike's family is a big basketball family, and so I've been sort of watching that for 15 years. Obsessively. And I think actually the WNBA is like late to the game a little bit, but I think they are actually changing the face of women's sports in general. So I think they're changing not only their awareness in their own sport, but also like probably making a movement across the board. These mama jamas are bad ass.
I listened to, I think was it on the podcast? We already talked about this, but
and they're fun. And they TikTok and they they'll beat your ass and they're gorgeous and stylish and like, fuck.
You know the football guy, he's
changing the
retired football guy. He's like kind of weird, but also
women.
really super fucking entertaining. Chad Ochocinco, the football guy.
Yeah, he changed his name to that.
Yeah. We must have talked about this. Like,
no, I just know what he looks like.
I know what I talked about it with somebody, and I'm having like deja vu, and I can't remember.
Not me.
Okay. Anyways, he I think he was on Theo Von. Fucking baller of an interview, by the way. Like, between the two of them, they're so fucking weird. It's good. I enjoy the hell out of it. I would listen to it again, actually, because it's so nutty. They're so fucking weird.
About? What are they talking about?
Well, what the relevant point was that Ochocinco, I think his name is Chad, right? He's recently got into the WNBA. Again, probably thank you, Caitlin Clark. And he's like, they are the most underrated. I think this interview was the trigger to me to like even start thinking critically about it. He goes, they're the most underrated sports program in history. They are incredible. When you see them live, the WNBA has got it going on. Like, they know exactly how to clock into the fans. Like, it is 10 out of 10 the best sport to watch, like, across the board.
I texted my sister-in-law the other day, and I said there are 3 old dudes at the Auburn Hotel with beards and all the things.
Shocker.
And they're talking about
farmers,
how badass the WNBA is. And I'm like, that's so good.
That's so good. You end up in the weirdest fucking places out there.
I do.
I used to.
My location is on. I used to never be able to. I had all these kids.
I know, yeah.
Like, and now they're like, oh, they drive themselves to their games, and I have a window from one place to the next to.
You pop into the Auburn Hotel. I didn't know it was open.
Oh my God, their food is so good.
Yeah, they're open it. I'll have to. We're gonna go.
I'm hungry right now.
We're going out that way on Saturday for a graduation party, so maybe we can like.
Hungry thinking about it.
That's exciting. They've never had that good of food, in my opinion. That's why O's does so well. Because they had real
O's
food.
Stinks. Grease. I like Caitlin up at the Auburn Hotel. Shout out to Caitlin at the Auburn Hotel.
Very good. Did you have any other takes at the WNBA? Because I had one more question for you on that.
Yeah, go.
There's been controversy with Caitlin Clark. Do you know what it is? Since you have,
They say that. Okay, so not. Let us know. Here's what I have skimmed. They basically target her. You know,
I saw the video.
They beat her up.
That's sad.
She doesn't fucking care. So if you watch her interviews, she's like,
whatever, I got it.
My game speaks for its fucking self.
Ooh, queen.
True.
Baller.
Okay,
I like that. I like that a lot.
Mm-hmm, and she's got a badass group. Like, I remember back in the day when I used to get snotty or sassy and I used to go, Tay! She'd just run across the bar, fucking beat somebody up. That's who Sophie is. She will beat people the fuck up. A lot of them will. So she's got backup bitches, literally and figuratively.
Okay, cool. I'll watch more
I
now.
think they go after her hard.
Yeah. I probably would too if I were against her. You know what I mean? Like, what else do I got? I don't have the skill.
That's what she said. I don't give a fuck. Poke me in the eyes. I'm so.
So I think I posted it on Instagram. I'll have to like revisit the actual numbers, but her average 3-point distance. So they did like the diagram or like the stats were like, here's what the 3-point distance is for women. Here's what the 3-point distance is for men. Here's what Caitlin Clark's 3-point distance is, which was like her average 3-point distance is like something like 28. I don't know, whatever the number was. And then the average men's 3-point distance was somewhere in between what their actual line is and what Caitlin Clark's sinking successful. Like, she's better than men.
She is.
I know, but like the data says,
fucking puts
her
them,
game speaks for itself.
She
When you
puts
said that,
them
I
right in there.
remembered.
She basically said that. She's like, they're
right
gonna like.
there.
She also said she realizes she has a responsibility. She realizes she's the face of the league. She realizes that it's on the shoulders of a lot of black women who've been fucking playing in the league for years and years and years and years and years.
So she's a queen.
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 Anyway, basketball culture, what I will tell you is I love wrestling culture and I love hockey culture and I love basketball culture.
Wrestling, hockey, and basketball.
I'll fucking fight you.
I was going to say, I can see the through line there.
Not all basketball. Like if you go to high school basketball where we live, it's like...
Scrappy.
No, it's like...
Oh.
Yay,
Oh, really? Have you been to the creek for a while?
You go to the fucking AAU, we're in the middle of the court. We're getting that, like, I love it.
That's fun.
Hockey, we've always fucked you up.
Yeah.
And wrestling, I mean, that should speak for itself. If you put your kid against another kid and you're going, squeeze somebody else's kid when they're 6
Your
years
dad was
old.
a wrestling coach, right?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
All right, it's your turn. Jess is nervous, guys. I've actually been able to make Jess nervous.
So here, I bet, like in the middle of our discussion, I had an aha that I can't use my phone, so I need your phone to call my dad.
Oh, Jess doesn't have her phone. Happens all the time.
I mean, it's occupied.
Never.
And I would call him from my computer, but he doesn't have an
Why
iPhone.
is he so fired up out there?
He's always, that's just, he's a chatty. That's why people can't have roosters usually. Like in the city, normally you can have chickens in like certain zoned environments that are more city environments or like
I would
suburbs.
have him constantly. You know what he's actually doing? Get the fuck out of here. I'm here.
Some people say that it's calling in predators, but I don't know how true that is.
That's not true. Why would they say that?
I don't know. That's just what people think. People think weird things. Oops, that's not his number. Hold on.
Some people just didn't think.
Do you know your parents' number by heart still? Isn't that funny?
I know all my high school friends' numbers by heart.
I know
Parents.
He won't know who this is.
You better fucking answer. You should tell him you're calling from the Democratic Convention.
We can get the fucking chicken. Let's see if he answers.
Hello.
Hey, Dad, it's Jessica. I'm calling from Heather's phone. I can't. Sorry, this chicken's fucking loud. I can't find my. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, what are you doing?
Sitting in my ass.
At home?
Yeah.
Oh, thank God. Okay, so I forgot to tell you, I think, I don't know, did we talk about this? I got bees. Did I tell you that?
Look.
Like, you know, we talked about me getting bees and Matt was really like not happy about that whatsoever. I think he was going to divorce me. And I was like, it's fine. I'll send them to my dad's.
Yeah, okay.
So I forgot to tell you that I ordered them And the house like thing that they get, it comes from Australia, so that's not coming for like another couple of weeks. But the bees are like the people, like the shipping company just called me and they said they're on their way to your house right now.
I thought you said the bees were from China.
From where?
China.
I don't know. Like I might have got them from China.
Well, it's going to be nice. Oh, I don't have no beekeeping equipment, you know?
I know. What do we do?
I don't know. I didn't order the things.
So, like, Matt's going to be so pissed if he hears about this. I got to figure something out. Do you think we just, like, put them in a box? Can you keep them at your house?
I don't know. The neighbors were over there. Their chickens got out, and they were over there walking around, so...
Oh. What does that mean with the bees?
Last week. That was last week, though.
Oh, what does that mean with the bees?
Well, they disturb them. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Oh, the chickens would get into the bees. Oh, my God. They'd probably,
No, I don't think they will, but...
Oh.
I don't... Yeah, I don't know. You got to plan a little better, evidently.
They're going to be there in a couple of minutes, though. Like, I can't even get to your house before they get there. So, can you receive them?
Receive them?
Yeah, like, you'll have to hold on to the boxes and stuff. I don't know. Like, I don't know what to do.
What's it going to come? Who's delivering them?
We have, like, a special kind of delivery service because they're bees.
Right, but... Okay.
I don't know.
That.
They said they come and ship them to you. Like, they'll drop them off. Yeah, you just have to, like, sign for them. And normally, I think we'd put them in these houses, but the house doesn't come for a couple weeks. They're a couple $100s. We can't let them die.
No. I don't know if I got Kenny Putz's number, but his buddy, what's his name? He has bees over there on Chippewa River. Would you work with them there for a while? I got them.
Oh, yeah. EJ.
Yeah, EJ.
Should we call EJ?
I don't know if I got... Oh, I do have his number on my old phone.
Oh, on your old phone?
A lot of my phone numbers didn't transfer over. Okay, they did, but I don't know who the numbers are. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I got to go look that number up and see if, or whatever. Like if somebody calls me, like this number here, okay, I come up no name.
Oh, yeah.
But
So you're manually typing it in. Anyways, so you'll be able to take the bees over to EJ's then?
I don't know. I got to talk to EJ about it. How am I going to take them?
I don't know. EJ's really cool. I know him too, you know. We did.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I
So,
would know what to do.
so I'll have the delivery people, like, maybe put them in the back of the orange truck then?
No, they're not. Orange trucks in the garage.
Yeah, they'll put them in your garage. And then, like, whatever you get a chance tonight, take them over there?
Whatever. I don't know how. I don't know how that's going to work. The bees are in an enclosed thing. They can't get out, correct?
I don't know. I haven't seen them. I don't know. I was just
I don't
gonna.
know either.
I was gonna have these delivery people just put them in the house, but like the house isn't here yet. Weird.
I don't know. Again, I don't know what.
I'm just messing with you, Dad. Heather and I are doing a segment on the podcast, and I have to call and prank you.
Oh, that's a prank?
Yeah.
No. So I know you talked about getting bees, so I don't know. You never know.
I know. That's why I thought it was gonna work. Good job.
Yeah.
Peyton wanted to come over.
I ordered a tiger. It's going to show up at noon.
Heather ordered a tiger. It's showing up at noon, she says.
Huh?
Heather says she ordered a tiger. It's going to show up tomorrow at noon.
Oh, I don't care about that. We got bears in the neighborhood, so.
We do have bears.
We do have bears.
Did you see that recently?
Fuck them bears.
They're right by the nature
I gotta
center.
pee.
Anyways.
Jerry's house on Patterson.
Oh my God, really? Hey, I'm ready for a bear here.
What about if I got a mail order bride?
a mail order bride, like a lady from Russia?
Yeah.
Okay, Dad.
Serve 'em up.
Peyton wants to come over, so if we don't come over tonight, she wants to see you this weekend.
Well, I'm not doing anything that I know of.
Anyways.
All right.
Okay. Bye, Dad.
All right. Later. Bye.
You could have done something.
I know. That's what
The
part of
redneck thing is he had a buddy. He's like, I got a buddy. I got a buddy who knows how to do bees.
And I'll send it to EJ and put him on blast.
Well, I found Comfort because generally they have like a really good marketing strategy, and I put in like oversized, comfy, plain hoodies for people with anxiety traveling with their service dog who are obsessively being judged. About 450 keywords. I'm not kidding you. And Comfort came up, and I bought it. So if you like comfort, if you like to travel, if you like to fly, if you like to stay home, if you like to go to bonfires, if you like to come out of the river and put on your hoodie, or if you like to be the bougiest bitch in the Delta airport, buy Comfort. www.comfort.com/startuppod. 15% off for you, and everyone's going to want to know what you have. Buc-ee.
Okay, so you...
Welcome to Startup. I'm Heather.
I'm Jessica. Welcome to the Realty.
Welcome to the Realty.
You gave me you said, hey, go check out Buc-ee's. And when I Googled it, I thought we were going to be doing like, it sounded like a polo company or something, like clothing.
Really?
I'd never heard of this before. Mm-hmm. And I Googled it, and it was a convenience store. I'm like, the fuck? Mm-hmm. So I went back and texted Heather again. This is all from my computer. I always text from my computer. I'm like, Heather, a convenience store? And she's like, yes. And like, I was like, what are we doing? She said, check it out.
Check it out.
And was she ever right? So have you been to a Buc-ee's?
Say that louder for my children.
Was she ever right?
Yes, I've been to a Buc-ee's.
You have been to a Buc-ee's?
Mm-hmm. Several times. Lots, actually.
Okay. Tell me your experience, because I'm living...
Our best friends moved to Houston.
Oh,
and
that's right.
Every time we go down there, we take some sort of road trip, and we go to a Buc-ee's, and we spend 45 minutes.
So you go
there.
to a Buc-ee's just for the sake of going to Buc-ee's?
No, we go on a road trip.
Oh,
we don't
okay.
just go to Buc-ee's.
Okay.
No, we don't. It's not. We don't take a side tour.
Okay.
It's part of the Texas experience, whether we're going to Shitter Bombs, which is a water park, or. But when they first moved there, we did certainly make it part of the trip on the way down, if that makes sense. But you can just pull over like we do a marathon.
Right. Okay.
But I know it's like a whole thing. People stop out. Like I'm learning people come all over the world to go to Buc-ee's.
100%. Yeah, basically. For sure, it's being...
a stop of their trip they're already making.
Most likely, probably not go out of the way just to go to Texas to go to Buc-ee's. Or it's regional now. It's not just in Texas, but... You are 100% right. So Buc-ee's is not just a convenience store. It's not just a gas station. It's a marvel of strategic branding, customer experience, design, and Texas pride. Mm-hmm. Isn't that what it feels like to be in?
Yeah.
That's
you walk
what I
into the
read.
bet, you're like, I might have a baby in the corner, get a hot dog, a slushie, a protein shake, a legit, like, homemade...
Yeah.
5 different things, a new t-shirt, a water bottle, like 8 different charger cords, and the largest slushie you've ever seen, married with a pure show of melting pot of human beings.
So it's an incredible story, I think.
Huge. It's huge. It is huge. Their footprint's huge. Texas is huge, though. I mean, it's the size of fucking Europe and then some. Yeah.
So, but the footprint of the store is
huge.
Like 60 to 80,000 square feet.
Right.
Which is
there's gas pumps out front, and there's
100 gas pumps.
You're not waiting at gas pump. Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to talk about all that. That's not how they started. So they are currently $2.5 billion in revenue. That's $200 million.
Lulu's $10 billion for comparison.
Yep. Okay. Great point. It's a privately held company, which I think is an important thing.
How do they get gas?
They're a loss leader on
it's
gas.
It's not like a marathon that most people are, you know that.
Yeah.
Just because your parents own.
Yep, but worth noting, it's a loss leader on gas. So gas is what okay, so the whole thing, we kind of got there. Buc-ee's is a rest stop. But that's not how they started. They simply just started as a convenience store and a gas station in 1982. They evolved to that in the early 2000s, and that's been like the bread and butter winning recipe, the differentiation, and the thing that is exploded what Buc-ee's is today. But they spent 20 years just building gas stations and like doing a good thing, slight differentiation. The thing that started what mattered with Buc-ee's at the beginning was a clean bathroom and cold ice.
Amen.
Cheap ice, not cold ice. Obviously, it's fucking cold. Cheap ice, a clean bathroom, and cheap ice.
Or free ice.
And maybe it was. I don't know. But they just said it was cheap, right? Like they just brought people into the door. Like I said, gas is typically a loss leader if you're breaking even or you're losing money on gas, depending on what you're willing to risk. That's a loss leader. They do promote it, like a good price on gas to bring people through the door.
If you were the gas person, when you made the same decisions as what they made at your family store to kind of charge more than everybody else and hope they still stop, or would have you have lost because you would have got margin on the drinks, the donuts, the coffee?
At our family store, it's a little bit different. The location is what matters. So Buc-ee's is for people who are traveling, and it's a rest stop. And what they are saying is they have the cleanest bathrooms, and that is going to set you apart from the speedways and the everything else.
Them fuckers are gross. Mm-hmm. The one by my house is gross.
So I don't think they're.
In there.
I don't think Buc-ee's is. I agree. 100. I could tell you. I could tell you the craziest travel bathroom stories. Like the craziest. I hope to. Maybe next episode, or maybe later. I don't know. Let's see where we go, but. Because that's such a value add, a differentiator, I don't think they significantly had to lose a lot of money on gas. From our family store, we were serving the relatively rural community just outside of town. So you're not serving people who are going to just buy gas. Like, people are going to go out of their way to get cheap gas, or that they're in town, they're going to get gas. If you are filling up your lawnmower with rec fuel, that was there. If you're going to stop and get a steak and you happen to need gas, you're going to pay an extra 10 cents a gallon, maybe 5 cents a gallon. So we never made money on gas. It was always like a penny to the gallon, to get people in the door for something that was more profitable. But I don't think it was not a strategic, like, people are going to come out of their way to come here for gas. It was like, we are a convenience store that is outside of town, so they would be willing to pay slightly more for gas when other people are willing to lose money on gas. We're not willing to stretch it that much.
We'll lose your milk sale if you really, truly don't want to make 2 stops.
Yeah.
For gas and milk.
Yeah. Yeah. But we don't want things like meat to rot. But so we'd have the notoriously best hamburger, notoriously the best sausage, like, worth the stop, so then worth the fill up.
Got it.
Because you're already out there.
Yep.
That was kind of the strategy. Anyways, so Buc-ee's said, we will have the best bathrooms, the cleanest bathrooms. They currently still have, like, a staff of people who do nothing but bathrooms.
Do they have tips there? I forget. Can you tip?
Tips? I don't know. I hadn't heard anything about that.
The Midland Ferry used to be able to tip for 30 years, and now there's no tip in. And now their bathrooms are gross. But they used to have a woman who used to sit right in there, men and men's, women's and women's.
Yep.
Alma sat there for 25 years. She died, and then her family took over, and then they must have not renewed the contract. Whether there was a contract outside of, like, they probably fucked them right over up at the fair, because that's how they do people.
Okay. I'm gonna cut that.
No, you don't have to cut that.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Say it loud.
Okay. I know people
come at me
who used to be on the board, I guess.
Yeah, come at me.
All right, fine.
Tell me you got a different opinion about the bullshit that goes on up there.
I don't have an opinion, so we'll leave it. Buc-ee's is
Alma died, just so we're clear.
Significantly incredible in that they have 40% gross margin at a gas station. What did Costco have?
18.
Like 12.
60 had the Lulu.
The Lulu had 60, right? So, and we called that luxury. So when Buc-ee's is pushing 40% gross margin, that's incredible. Each store makes $50 million to $100 million annually. That's incredible. There's a really interesting return. The owner, Beaver, talks about this a lot.
Is that his first name?
His name is Arch, but his mom nicknamed him Beaver right around the time he was born.
Why?
We don't know. I can't find it anywhere. He said it's just deeply personal. So I don't know whatever the fuck that means.
Hairy as fuck. Got a beaver pelt up on his chest.
Probably. His name is nicknamed Beaver. That's where they get Buc-ee's, and that's hence the mascot. That's like very deeply
I knew
known.
when I sent you the beaver, you were going to be like,
The fuck. But now I kind of want some beavery things. Okay.
we're going to be trappers.
I
And if you want us to live trap
Literally-
it, you little fur
literally,
lovers,
Heather-
then it's going to take you triple. I want a live trap. I don't want to kill him.
I want to make a coat.
Then we're going to pick up roadkill and put it in the kiln.
Okay, we'll table that for later.
What do? You sauce it up first with like pepper and like what? How do you like not pepper, but like you like preserve it?
Okay, so a single store will have 3,000 direct jobs to service a modern Buc-ee store, and almost 5,000 indirect jobs that service in the community. One store in the community. So their economic impact is really large. And this is something.
Do they pay people?
Yes. So there's a little bit of controversy here, but I think it's overblown. I think it's because they do. I really do think that they do a good job. Their average salary, or like their average hourly rate for an entry level cashier, is $11.50, which is 40% higher than the regional average where they operate, and is higher than the minimum wage. So their starting salary is higher. Managers reportedly make six figures. They have employee complaints online in regards to how strict their working environment is. So no phones, no sitting, no leaning, and Beaver, Arch is his first name,
The Arch Beaver.
It's his legal name. Is
Not to be confused with the head of the
Christian
name. Yeah.
Beaver has cameras centralized, so it's not just like you go into a facility and you've got cameras at that facility. He can at any point see what's going on at any location of his locations, and he has a lot of he designed the
no
bathrooms
phones and no what?
no sitting, no leaning. Like if he goes on his camera and he sees like a cluttered table and a staff person is leaning, he will call that store and like call them out. I'm here for it.
I'm fucking here
So
for
there's
it. I had an
criticism for
admin
it.
one time that made more than I made 10 years out of college. And I came to a facility that I had to fly into 3 times, and it wasn't me who bossed up, but she basically let the same dead plant sit on her desk as an admin.
Yeah, we talked about this. Yeah.
Bitch gotta go.
Yeah.
Don't lean, don't sit, don't paint.
Yeah.
If the table's dirty, but you're hustling, and the table's the last thing you get to because you're serving the customer, I ain't got no
But
problem
if you're
with
leaning
that.
and the table's dirty, like, come on. Yeah. So he's got a strict, like, high quality environment, and he gets criticism for that. It shows a little bit of a high turnover rate reportedly, but he pays well. Like, he pays. So then some people criticize, like, well, $11.
I can't believe $11.50 is 40% above the minimum wage in Houston or in Texas.
Yeah, $7 is minimum
Alexa,
wage.
what is the minimum wage in Michigan?
In 2019, Michigan's minimum wage was $9.45.
Ask in Texas.
Alexa, what is the minimum wage in Texas? I think you need an Alexa. It's not updating. 2019 is 6 years ago. We've had a lot of minimum wage increases.
Alexa, why don't you have minimum wage data for 2025?
I don't know that one.
What a little bitch. Anyways, the research I did literally yesterday said that minimum
Right
wage
now in
Texas-
Michigan, minimum wage is $12.48.
Yeah, I thought that was 12.
So
Didn't I say 12? I whispered it.
yeah. So if it's $12.48 and it's
Ask
11,
about Texas. Because this is also the fallacy in the reporting. I might have had an article that I didn't realize was old.
$7.25 an hour.
Okay, yeah.
Because they're all
Yeah. You can leave that where it lies. I know where you're going with
facts
that.
don't have feelings and data don't lie.
All right.
So tell me I'm wrong.
Okay. So some of the criticism that they've
Doesn't mean
received
it's right.
is that
Telling me that I'm wrong. Tell me that I'm right doesn't mean that I'm right, but I'm right.
So some of the criticism that has been received to Buc-ee's on the specific regard as to whether or not their employees are well paid at $11.50. I would say that it's above minimum wage. It is not terrible for something that's entry level, I would think. Like, I definitely didn't make that at entry level, but that was 20 years ago.
I made $5.15.
Yeah,
it was $4.90 something, then it went to $5.15.
Was my very
so mine
very
was $4
first.
something. As a server, I made $2.65 when I had Bennett. That's 17 years ago.
So the criticism is like, that's not a livable wage for a family. And my rebuttal to that is that I don't believe these jobs are necessarily should be designed for a family. They are great starter positions for somebody who is in college or who is in high school, somebody
or who has immigrated themselves into this country and wants to work.
Fair.
You ever been to a Buc-ee's?
Fair fucking no, I haven't.
Right,
but like fair fucking enough. So
love the fact that you like your $1 hot dog. Somebody serving that to you and making it.
Yeah. So their wages are higher than minimum wage, and I think
$7.25, $11.40 is 50 is significantly higher than $7.25.
And I think if you work your ass
higher.
off and you're making 6 figures as a manager, the growth potential is solid. Here's like I don't have a whole lot of supportive feelings
The overall
of the
question
people.
and the overall question and the criticism should be is relative to what they're bringing in. What is it the cost to live?
And that is what the criticism was. Like you would have to be making something like $18 an hour. There is another founder, Don Waskey. I just want to give him like a second of credit. He wants to be behind the scenes. He doesn't want anything to do with like any of the public visibility. He's operations. They're 50-50 owners, but Arch Beaver Applin III, Beaver is the nickname. He's kind of like the persona of Buc-ee's. Like that's.
Does he look like a beaver?
I don't think so. Like he just looks like a normal Texan human
What's
being.
his name?
Arch Applin III, nicknamed Beaver. And like, I'll just reinforce the fact that it started for 20 years as simply just a regular old convenience store, that they had always started to like evolve the idea and then finally pulled the trigger. And they have clearly been very successful at some of their values. I will also still say, okay, so first and foremost, clean bathrooms continue to be the differentiator from day one. That was,
I can get on that fucking train.
Yep, from day one. So they have like full bathroom stalls.
He looks like a fucking Buc-ee.
He looks like a fucking Texan.
Looks like a beaver Texan.
Clean bathrooms from day one were the point. Buc-ee himself designed the bathroom stalls. There are even, I can't remember what, some of the, like hand sanitizers in the bathroom. Like they're not your standard bathroom.
Very good experience.
Yes,
there.
not
I'm
your,
telling you.
not your standard bathroom. So that's
You can take can you take
point.
a shower there too? I think you can.
I hadn't heard that, but I would not be surprised because I think the whole point is no. Actually, what I did hear, this is another thing that is a differentiator and a point about their core segment. So they are targeting, especially at these large roadside centers, where they have a handful, like dozens of them, not hundreds, but like dozens of them in the regional
they don't have
area.
showers.
Yeah, because they don't want to attract.
They're a travel stop. They're a travel center, not a truck stop.
Yes, that's what I
They
was
don't
just
want the
going to say.
stinkies up in there.
Right. So they are I think it's a different. I think it's a different point of view. They want road trippers and families. They don't want 18-wheelers and whores. My words, not theirs. 18-wheel. They don't service 18-wheelers at any of their. You can't get there. You're not allowed.
You probably can't pull in. They got it. So
I think you can't. They won't allow it to fit into
right. You
like
can't in the infrastructure in the roadways.
Yeah, and then if you even tried, they would be like, "No, you're not allowed here."
Yeah.
So they've made it known that this is not a place for. It's not a truck stop. It is for families and road trippers. So therefore, no showers because nobody's taking a shower when they're taking a pee and getting gas. But one of the things that does get people hyped up and one of the reasons why people do particularly go there, instead of going, so clean bathrooms is, I truly think is the most important point. You talked about the food. They have high quality food. They private label their basically everything. So I do think that like they source from the best, but they've built the ability to private label, which is why I think that they can extract such high margins. It feels very Costco, Kirkland brand to me without.
I think it's like Ponderosa meats.
The feeling might be
Kirkland.
Yeah, the business model without having been there, like the way it's all described is almost identical to the research on Costco, but Costco's goal is low cost. Their value proposition isn't clean bathrooms. Like, they have to get you in there thinking that you are getting a value. Buc-ee's doesn't care. Like, they can charge extra. They can charge whatever the fuck they want because they've already got you on walking in the door.
What
They've
was
already
the
got you on
strategy behind the
bathroom.
scale? Why 100, not 50? Because they just knew they had the data to say if
that's
a million people are going down the
great
expressway,
question.
if we captured 2% of them.
They wanted to be a rest stop.
Texas
and they
also,
wanted to
everything's
be
big in Texas.
Yeah.
So that's just inherently the culture, the values, and
I think
bigger,
once
the better.
they started to become attractive, so I don't know, I guess what would be interesting would be to know their first rest stop, how many it was, because I don't know, I knew it was big, like everything became big, but I think also rest stops, they work with Texas to modify access to, and you can tell me this, but like, is it like when we're in Michigan?
Easy on, easy off.
Yeah, on the
Rest
highway.
stop. There's no stress.
Yeah, so
If you've got dementia and you're 90, you're gonna get in and out of that bitch. You might hit a rock on your way out, but
and not every state is like that. So
Michigan has
sometimes
such good.
rest stops.
We know what's going on here.
Oh,
In
but
Michigan.
like I would imagine, the rest stops we have in Michigan. I would imagine that like what a Buc-ee's would be is replacing a Michigan government-owned rest stop with gas and all of these things inside and privately owned, and you don't have to run it from the government. Like, I think that's really attractive.
Ohio has the same thing. Like, you'll go into an Ohio rest stop, but there'll be a Chick-fil-A and a whatever and a whatever and a whatever and a whatever. Michigan
doesn't have that.
We're generally just very clean. Your dogs are out. It's more like a park stop.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's like going to a campground, like
That's
a
right.
DNR stop.
That's right.
Which I value too, but whatever, to each their own. So what they do
More
say
than a
is,
vending machine would be nice. It'd be nice if we could get some food trucks at them or
they
something.
say they do prioritize business-friendly local businesses, and they have to sometimes modify interstate access. So they have to work with state government to modify that interstate access. They do talk about how, like, some of the criticism that I did hear from, like people are really vocal about their experience with Buc-ee's. So there's been a couple of Buc-ee's that have been located off, so you have to get off of the highway because the state wouldn't allow like a custom, you know what I mean, like that access, like a rest stop access. So it'd be like getting off at a regular exit, and then you have to go into like a weird thing, and then there's a line, and then you've got all of these 100 gas stations or whatever the number is, and you're waiting there for 45 minutes just to get in Buc-ee's, and then they can't get out because once you get in the line, you're trapped. So you're sitting there for 45 minutes and you literally can't get out, which sounds like an absolute fucking disaster to me. Like, that sounds like an absolute crisis. That was in Georgia specifically.
Crisis. My husband even hates to get off the he'll get off now because he knows that, like, we generally are not mad for more than 24 hours, but like, if you want to make me mad, don't let me pee and don't feed me.
Yeah, I can pee in a cup in the car, and I absolutely have more than once, but like,
I'm not making that sacrifice anymore. I birthed 3 of your children out of this vagina.
I did that.
Take me to the fucking bathroom or the shop is permanently closed.
When we went to,
and I'm hungry. I need strength for this life.
I was pregnant with Clay. We were going to Florida with Peyton. We had left plenty of time, but in February, as it does in Michigan, there was like an unexpected storm, or like sort of whatever it was. I don't know. We were flying out of Detroit, so we had left like seriously plenty of time. We woke my daughter, like 18-month-old daughter, up at 4 a.m. to go to Detroit. You know what I mean? Like, fucking crazy as shit. Anyways.
Who wakes a sleeping baby? That's fucking mental people shit.
I did mental people shit to get on a flight with her first flight. She was a rock star, by the way. Anyways, we're going like 30 miles an hour down 75 for now 3.5 hours, like whatever the number is. And my pregnant ass was like, I got like 20 minutes in me. We're gonna have to find an exit soon. And again, like, just traffic. Like, it's not even just slow for weather, but like, it was traffic. There's nothing we can do about it. And I had 20 minutes in me, and like 3 minutes later, I was like, I don't have 20 minutes in me. So I took his coffee cup and poured it, whatever he had left of his coffee, out the window.
You just put the kook right up to there?
Crawled him back with Peyton, so I had a little bit more space and privacy. Peyton's, again, 18 months old, so she has no shits to give. Now she'd ask a lot more questions. But yeah, I'd like tucked it up tight, filled it right to the top. I was very stressful about that because then what do you do? Like, stop the flow when you're pregnant. And poured it out the window. And Matt was so fucking horrified. Like, it did not think he could ever use that cup again. Of course he used it again. I washed it. It's fine.
Whop, bitch.
I don't have a whole lot more to give. Like, the high points were
Privately held.
privately held.
Did he have money before? Money after?
No,
Big family?
he does.
No family?
His dad,
Skeletons?
not really. No, he's a Christian man. Loves all the like Southern football shit. Gives all his money to
He closed
ASC or
it-
something like that. I can't. There was some sort of story that
Would
got
you
him,
stop?
100%. Yeah.
Hunter, you gotta do it.
Okay, so the only thing that I would
Everyone
even
will be so fulfilled there. Peyton will walk out with like glitter or something, and Clay will have a truck and ice cream, and
if anything that I think we
you'll
skimmed,
you'll get a drink.
yeah, the only thing that I think we maybe skimmed over is like the degree of which the experience is inside the store.
Does
And maybe
he
you
care
need
about
to
sustainability or people or the environment or any of our values?
Okay, so we talked about the people employees because that was the element that matters. There is some criticism in Colorado. They're trying to expand in Colorado. They consume an exorbitant amount of water to run their
Probably
facilities.
electricity too.
Probably electricity too. Water was the thing that came up, and I
How
can't.
many bathroom stalls they have? 100 too, right? Like there's so many. You're not waiting in line at the Buc-ee's.
Yeah, right. Like that's the point, which is why I think the water is the point. So, in regions where they're trying to expand, and this must not be an issue in Texas, is whatever the reason, but where they were trying to go into Colorado, also the dynamic of the culture is different, right? Like Texas and Colorado are very different types of people. I would think, right? Like maybe there's some overlap, but
You can have if you're a man, you can still have a child in Texas and have no legal rights to him or her
right, yeah,
at all.
yeah.
Like you could get impregnated by a man,
The little wild,
and the law
literal
says
Wild
that
West.
sucks to be you.
Yeah,
No legal rights. No legal obligation.
yeah. That's yeah. Okay, so that doesn't really happen in Colorado. In fact,
And you cannot have an abortion there either.
right. In Colorado, they were considering expanding because that's a reasonable, like, just go north. You could see their expansion. Like, they're going to Georgia. They're going, whatever. Like, they're expanding out beyond Texas and it's becoming regional, stretching into the Midwest is what reports are saying.
Regional, more national.
Possibly the footprint that I've seen the most of is,
Texas
like,
to Michigan.
do we have one in Michigan? Yeah. Right. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like they're working towards, like I would be absolutely expecting them to be like Michigan to Florida would be a very
They're going to go
reasonable
in
target.
Florida. They got to go in at some point, like on the Disney World strip.
Well, so here's the thing. They require to do that big
Put that shit up in
footprint,
Orlando.
Florida's going to be really difficult.
Where the gators and the people come out of the
It makes
fucking
sense,
creeks.
but
What do they call them? The swamps.
in the type of culture, like people call it the amusement park of convenience, but the footprint is so large that I don't know if
Not
Florida
enough space.
Yeah, Florida, I don't know if they can handle it. But like Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, Kentucky, Mississippi, that whole Arkansas, like also their strategy is very much so slow growth. So their values, size is 60,000 square foot, 100 gas stations. That's not a value.
Still half the size of a Walmart.
Their values is the methodical, slow start, quality, consistency, and it feels like entertainment. Like those are the things that kind of are a through line with all of their sites. I did not hear any discussion that didn't compare them to like the contrast of a startup style. Startups, Silicon Valley startups are expected to be like $3 billion, hockey stick style growth, really, really fast growth, lots of investors, no investors, privately owned company, 20, now 30, 20, 40 years of business. Yeah.
Is there a family succession plan? Does he have children? Is it just him?
No, he has a family. Didn't get it. He's private. Like, all that I know is like belief strong belief in Christianity and God, and all the Texas things: football, God, grocery stores, and probably some beer.
We all hope.
Barbecue. So when you go in,
Football, God, grocery stores, and barbecue. Yes, it's very good. You nailed it. Family.
So the other thing that reminded me of Costco.
Fuck your ovaries. Family first, ovaries second, even though family comes from the over. Okay.
You're right. I'm with you.
I got it.
So,
I'm aligned. Can I be honest? I'm aligned to 80% of that. But you have to remember the 100% that made you.
The ovaries matter. So when you go into Costco and the chickens are ready,
born, forced, smuggled, or brought down from the heavens, ovaries matter.
When you go into Costco, and occasionally at Costco, Midland is not like this.
I lost my Costco card, and I'm afraid to figure out what happens. I think I might actually go to prison to get a new one. I might have to take one for the team.
Listen, when you go into Costco, not at Midland Costco, but I've heard this happens. Like when the fresh chickens are available, people literally flock, pun intended, I guess, to the fresh roasted rotisserie chicken. Like this happens in some regions for Costco.
They're gone a lot at the Walmart and the Meijer and at the Costco.
They are always gone.
We sell
so they occasionally at Costco. I love
a good rotisserie chicken.
Me too.
Do you know what my best part about it is? My husband didn't have to tell me how hard he worked to roast it.
I roasted my own chicken, and it tasted better than the Costco rotisserie chicken, I promise you. Okay, so they'll say, it's not a rotisserie chicken, but they'll say, fresh hot brisket on board, and then someone will go chop up brisket, and then they'll yell it like that, because then the people in the store will go. So it feels very, to me, like Costco culture-y, but what they talk about when we're talking about values.
Little street foodie, a little get to the table. It's a little Italian thing. Dinner's ready.
It does feel very cultural.
Feels very cultural. Like fucking dinner's on the
and that's they didn't talk about it as like
you name it.
As like a exact value proposition of their OG places, but when they said like clean bathrooms and cheap ice, they also still had a kitchen, and they valued the kitchen. They valued the family food. That was always a part of their like 1982 level, not 100. You know what I mean? Like they had a before and they had an after of Buc-ee's, to be honest. But it was all the same brand and all the same people. They just like took it to a whole nother scale. And some of those things are still through lines of like good Texas food, and they're going to carry that through. And I just think that's really fascinating, really interesting, high quality, consistency, whether it's the bathrooms or their brisket. And I think that's what makes it special. That's why they can get 40% margin plus. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. Is there anything more about Buc-ee's that you want to talk about?
Who runs it? Like, how did do you have any idea? Like, are they real smart people? They got from like the world's best brands. Are they homegrown? Are they a combo of both?
No.
Beaver
himself does a lot of decision making on the things that matter, such as like designing the bathrooms, for example. He's known to have designed the bathrooms, and he talks about a lot of details. Like I said, he gets on camera and looks at like, is there a dirty countertop? And like all of that is, so that's portrayed online as a little bit of micromanaging, but he's very involved. They hired a local Houston advertising agency to do their advertisements. Did I mention the billboard? So
it
like
looks very basic. It does. They're not. They value branding and advertising, but it certainly isn't overdone. Like I feel like it's very. If it's
like a handful of clever sayings. Mm-hmm. That started with an advertising agency and now employees.
They have Buc-ee swag now.
Yeah. And
it's becoming a brand.
So he licenses that to like random people who are looking to get it at other places. People put it on their cars. Like the way people put stickers on their cars is wild to me. But their billboards will be 100 miles away and just say the cleanest bathrooms in the world 100 miles away.
I love that.
So like that creates demand. That gets people excited.
Yeah, I love that.
It's the magic sauce.
Only if when they pull in, the bathrooms are cleanest.
And they are. They have a whole staff dedicated to cleaning bathrooms that do nothing all day but cleaning bathrooms.
They're delivering on their promise.
They are. Consistency, high quality.
Consistency. That's what I'm trying to preach with my family and myself. And middle grounds and consistency
and hard work. And he gets a little bit of a bad rap for it, but the results matter. It's a $3 billion company. Like,
no dummy.
He's killing it.
I figure out what to do with them bees. Your dad's like, I'll just call EJ. I got a scientist down the road I know. World famous. Probably owns a lot of patents.
My dad doesn't even know what a patent is, probably.
So I'm going to call EJ. I got a bite down the street.
Yeah,
You're
he's
like,
my-
oh, yeah,
he's
I
my-
know him too.
He's my euchre guys. Play euchre together.
Cheers to Michigan.
All right. Are we clinking?
Yeah, fuck.
Fucking right. I'm clicking. I can't wait to go to Buc-ee's. Did you catch that episode we did on Comfort? Comfort is a sweatshirt, loungewear, sweatpants company that, as so far as we can see, an ethical, sustainable organization and something is emerging, growing, relatively new company. And we partnered with them to get you 15% off. All you have to do is go to comfort.com/stirreduppod to get 15% off one of the comfiest sweatshirts and sweatpants you can find. Thank you for listening to Stirred Up. If you like what you heard, please subscribe. Check us out on YouTube. Follow us on your podcast apps. Please send it to a friend. Leave a comment. Add a rating. Every little bit helps. We look forward to seeing you next week.